Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tartar Zone Live. Yeah, how are you all doing? Last time I was on um, with the panel, we kind of upset someone. I'm not going to get into it, but it's been quite funny. It is when you give your opinion on your YouTube channel, and it seems to upset people. Uh, the heading of this stream is RTD must go. BBC needs to go back to basics. And it's an opinion. It's an opinion. All right. That's what we're doing here. I'm just going to give my 2 cents on it because obviously I still haven't watched the Christmas special. I do intend to watch it sometime this week. I just kind of building myself up to watch it because like I haven't been, I mean, we've had the Chris Chibnall years, and I think that's done a lot more damage than fans realise because it's just knocked the passion out a lot of fans. And RTD's return was to signal something beautiful again, but unfortunately that hasn't turned out the way that we all thought it would turn out. A pretty mediocre 60th anniversary. You wouldn't really call it a 60th anniversary. Let's be honest. It was the David Tennant show. And while I'm going to say this though, those 3 episodes are probably those 60th though are probably the best thing that RTD has written since he's returned. Believe it or not, even though there are a lot of issues with those 3 episodes, I think they closely resemble Doctor Who a lot more than what we're getting now in the Ncuti Gatwa era. But his return by a lot of us was hailed as something special. He was coming back to save the show, all of this, a rescue mission. And that rescue mission, let's be honest, is an absolute nightmare. It hasn't turned out. The ratings, no matter what they say about the ratings, and listen, you're going to get a lot of people talking about the ratings and trying to spin it every which way. They did the same during the Chris Chibnall era, and look how that worked out. If they want to make the same mistake again and spin these ratings, even though they know deep down that they're bad, well, then that's on all the fans out there, right? You are repeating the same mistakes as you did during the Chris Chibnall era. This show is not doing great. The writing is absolutely dire. A lot of people, from what I've seen, and even people that have defended RTD, didn't like the Christmas special, right? They didn't like the Christmas special. Okay, now I know it was written by Stephen Moffat, but again, a lot of people out there were hoping RTD, Stephen Moffat working again on a couple of episodes of Doctor Who, we'd get something magical, but that still hasn't happened. That still hasn't happened. RTD's episodes have been mediocre. To be quite honest with you, Moffat's episodes have been average at best, right? And we expect more from Stephen Moffat. But again, when you go back and you analyze all of this, you got to ask yourself a real serious question in relation to RTD. Was he truly a fan of Doctor Who? Because even in his first era, while I do like his first era, and I won't knock his first era to shreds, but let's be honest, even in the early days, there was little agenda creeping in there, and he had some mad ideas, and fortunately for us, there were people behind the scenes to keep a rein on RTD, and this is the problem that we have now. This is the problem that we have now. This is RTD unleashed, and this is what we're getting. We're getting a pile of crap, right? And that's what we're getting. We're getting crap. This is not up to the standards that we expect. Look at this show is never going to go back to its heyday under Moffat during that 50th anniversary period. That was its height right there. It's never going to get to those heights again, right? Never going to get to those heights again. But I think BBC, if they were realistic about it, if you write a good show, look, we've seen on BBC time again, if they do have, they get lucky once in a while, or they actually do it right once in a while, and they have a hit show, and it gets millions of people tuning in to watch. And this is the thing, this myth that, you know, the ratings. See, here's the thing. These people were saying during the Chris Chibnall era that ratings don't mean nothing. Now all of a sudden ratings mean something, right? So which is it? They actually they either don't mean nothing or they do mean something. So if they do mean something, then everything that we were saying about Jodie Whittaker's ratings was true then. And you were all lying because ratings all of a sudden matter, right? This is the issue that we have to keep spinning or changing it as often as we change their underwear, their opinion on it, right? The bottom line is, in this modern era of TV, if Doctor Who was to get overnight 7 million, in my opinion, in this current climate of TV, that would be considered a success, right? That's what I consider a success now, right? We can't judge it like TV in the past, right? A lot of people do stream, right? And it has had an effect on people who tune in and watch the TV, right? The normal way or the traditional way, right? But if you make a great show, with some TV stations have shown, including BBC over the years, they can get the ratings on TV, right? They can get the ratings on TV. All of this, you know, it's moving off the stream and this, that, and the other that's being talked about for the future and all of this. It's all smoke and mirrors. If you actually write a decent show, you'll get people to tune in on the TV, right? And this is the thing as well. I believe that the TV industry actually upped their game. You have seen that there's a kind of the tide has turned a bit on the old streaming model, right? It's too expensive, right? You're paying for different platforms to watch different things because they're not on one app for you, right? You have to buy Disney Plus, you have to buy Netflix for certain shows, you have to buy Apple TV or Prime Video or Paramount Plus, all of these other streaming services, right? To watch everything that you want to watch, right? Not everything that you're a fan of is going to be on the same platform. So it's become very expensive. So I do believe that if the TV industry just upped their game, they'd actually cause the streaming industry a bit of trouble. Because let's be honest, the streaming industry over the last couple of years now, you look at what they do, especially Netflix, right? They'll have a hit show in their hands, right? And then they'll just all of a sudden decide, you know what, we can't be bothered with this, we'll cancel it, right? That happens quite a lot, right? You can never get fully invested in all of these shows because you don't know down the line if that show is going to get cancelled. Do you know what I mean? And it's more prevalent on the streaming apps than it is on television, right? Fox used to do it quite a lot in the television world. You know, Fox would make some huge mistakes over their history. If you look with certain TV shows that they pulled the plug on that became iconic and all of it, like they've done it plenty of times. So all the excuses for RTD need to stop, right? Spinning the ratings needs to stop, right? They're not as good as you're saying they are. They're not. I don't care what age group the show is successful with. This is a family TV show, right? It's for all age groups. And if you only focus on a certain demographic or a certain age group, then you're alienating all the rest of the fans out there, right? So the excuses need to stop with this man, right? He's just not good enough, right? He's just not good enough. And the ratings are reflecting that. The people tuning out are reflecting that. The people giving out about the episodes are reflecting that. And you know what? A lot of people were actually excited about the Christmas special because it was Stephen Moffat. It was something different, you know, because everybody was saying, according to them, that Stephen Moffat's episode in season 1, what was it called again? Doom or something, whatever it was fucking called. I forget the names of these episodes and all now, right? Whereas I can round off all of the episodes from the New Who era all the way up to Capaldi, right? Well, see, these new episodes haven't got a clue. What was it called? Doom or something, or Boom or Bang or whatever the fuck it was called, right? But everybody was hoping that the RTD or that the Stephen Moffat episode would be a little bit better, and it was. In Boom it was called, right? So it was a little bit better, right? So everybody was expecting a lot from Moffat the Christmas special. But it looks like even people that have been defending RTD and defending Moffat didn't like the Christmas special either. So the quality, and I've seen the ratings, we've all seen the ratings now for the Christmas special, right? It's over if they don't change now, right? It'll be over eventually, right? We still don't know if Doctor Who has been renewed yet. Obviously, it's 2025. The decision will be made in 2025, right? Just ignore all of the other noise that's coming elsewhere, right? The bottom line is that nothing has been official. No press release, no nothing yet. So until we get that, we don't know the future of Doctor Who right now. But if I were BBC, and this is just an opinion, if I were BBC right now, I'd be looking at this and I'd say, do you know what? Maybe we should cut our losses and get someone else in, right? Now, I know a lot of fans will say, they've changed again, blah, 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 especially the ones that don't like it. But look, it's either goes off air and doesn't come back in their lifetime, or get someone in to do it right. And I just believe if you get someone in, you can turn this around and get it right. Yeah, there is a lot of bad blood. There is a lot of fans that have walked away. But if the show started to gain a reputation again of good writing and, you know, good storytelling, eventually those fans will return. They will. All they've ever screamed out for is good Doctor Who. And if BBC started to produce some good Doctor Who again, then we might get somewhere. Another thing as well, you know, these fanboys, look, I have a slightly different opinion to some of the panelists that said it doesn't matter if it's a fan coming in, but just do it right. I kind of get that, but I think for this to be a success now, you need to get someone in with a fresh look at this, but knows the show, right? They know the show, they know the lore, but they're coming in with a fresh eye, right? They've worked on other projects, blah, 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 right? And bring that person in, whoever that person may be, right? But they need to cut their losses with RTD. It's as simple as that. If they don't cut their losses with RTD, you're going to continue to see this show slide, right? I don't even think, and look, you know, the spin-off hasn't been released yet, but you know, if you got that negativity with Doctor Who, how do they expect the spin-off to do good? The main show, I always said this, right? The day RTD was announced and we were all talking about, we had the panel, and I said that it didn't matter about what spin-offs were to come. If the show wasn't on a solid foundation, then what would be the point? And what would be even more embarrassing for the show is that if the spin-off got more ratings than the actual main show, that would be a sad indictment to Doctor Who. And that's my opinion on it, right? So I'm at the stage where if BBC, I think BBC should give it another go themselves. I think they should do something. I don't know how the Disney deal works or the other deals work, but if there was some way to end those deals, I would end those deals, to be honest with you. I mean, to be quite honest with you, if RTD keeps writing the way he's writing, then I think Disney will pull funding. Why would Disney fund this if the writing continues to be shy? And that's just an opinion. I'm not saying that's going to happen, right? It's an opinion. Learn the difference. But we're in very choppy waters with this show. People need to wake up to what's going on. And all you fans out there that are defending RTD, you need to wise up. You did the same during the Whittaker era and the Chibnall era, right? And you didn't tell the truth. And it was only after they were gone, then you all then start coming out and saying, oh yeah, the ratings weren't as good as they should have been. The writing wasn't as good as it should have been. But you waited until they were gone. You didn't want to say anything about the show or say anything about Jodie Whittaker because you didn't want people to come out and call you a sexist and all of it, misogynistic and all of this other crap. Well, I did because I didn't give a crap, right? The bottom line is if you want this show to succeed as a fan, you have every right to be vocal. You have every right to express your opinion, right? and the people that are running these shows, I'm not saying they should listen to you all the time, but the fans have been telling you for the last few years where the mistakes are with the show and what the problems and the issues are. If you continue to ignore them, well, then how do you expect it to get any better? And then last night, the reason for this stream, by the way, is because last night, the Thinking retweeted. I think he retweeted or he put it, or I found. I don't know. I was reading stuff on Christopher Eccleston. I may have came across it or he retweeted one the other. But it was the video of him and Billy Piper, and when he was asked the question, what do we have? What do the people have to do to get you back on to Doctor Who? And he said basically sack RTD and his whole team, and then he'd come back. And then he said to the fans, "Can you make that happen?" And then I retweeted and it says, "We're trying, Chris. We're trying." Right? But a lot of us, including myself, because we spoke about Christopher Eccleston before we did another stream, I misjudged that man, and I was very bitter towards that man, because when Doctor Who came back in 2005, yeah, it was 2005. Why am I saying 2005? Stop that nonsense now. Anyway, yeah, when it came back in 2005, I've lost me train of thought now. I don't know what I was going to say there. What was I going to say? Sorry, I just got distracted in the chat. Oh, it's completely gone out of my head. Hold on. Someone try to remind me. I hate when that happens. Oh, everybody is just forgotten what I was saying. There you go, man. What? Oh, yeah. I misjudged that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, obviously, I misjudged him and I was very bitter with him. And when the show came back in 2005, as you know, I wasn't in the greatest place mentally. So, I've always said that, Doctor Who kind of saved me life, RTD, and everybody connected with that show. And I was always very bitter when I found out he was gone, and he kept talking. I remember when he was doing the interviews, and now I know why he was doing the interviews the way he was doing the interviews. If I hadn't known at the time, obviously my opinion would have been completely different. But he made out that he done one season, and that, well, in reality, if you look at it from the classic point of view, I've actually done a break into 2 seasons. And I never fully understood that answer. And now it makes total sense. Like, to find out that you've lost your job, right? They didn't even tell him. The announced David Tennant didn't even tell him that he'd lost his job. Like, he was out, right? It's just the behavior of RTD and the powers behind the scenes, right? And there seems to be the same shit happening today in 2025. Now, he called the politics Christopher Eccleston. I think Christopher Eccleston's been a bit nice there when he called it politics. He had to be careful. But the thing that made me convinced that I misjudged him completely was when Billy Piper backed him up. And when Billy Piper backs you up, you sit up and you pay attention, right? There's no reason for Billy Piper to lie. Billy Piper's had a hugely successful career since he's left Doctor Who. I would say out of everybody, there's ourselves, Karen Gillan and Jenna Coleman have done really, really well since. Actually, I think a lot of them have since they've left Doctor Who. But Billy Piper's had her own shows as well. She's done very well. And, she's no reason to lie, because You know, when Billy Piper burst on the scene, she was suffering with her own issues as well. You know, the music industry, that's why she doesn't sing anymore. For anybody that doesn't know, the music industry pushed her to lose weight. They pushed her to look a certain way. And Billy Piper always fought back against it. And this is why she'll never sing again. Like, she doesn't even like her own fucking songs being played. Like, and you know what? She did some great music. I used to be a little fan of Billy Piper's music. I'm not gonna lie. Because You Want To has a deadly dance version that goes on for about 7, 8, 9 minutes or something like that by Tall Paul. It's deadly, man. You know, what am I looking at? Oh yeah, President Lemon gifted. I'm just going in to check on my phone who he gifted it to. Brucey T was gifted a membership by President Lemon. Welcome, Brucey T. I don't think we've ever seen Brucey T in the chat. I don't know, but you remember now. So thank President Lemon there for gifting membership. Actually, I should actually check now on my own YouTube and see if I've got the gift, the free YouTube. I don't know if that still goes actually, but we'll have a look here. But yeah, I mean, look. There's a lot of cynics out there that say that it's too late for Doctor Who. And you know what? They probably are right now. But as I said, if you get someone in, right, and to be quite honest with you, you know, I preferably myself personally, I'd like someone that's come in that's written sci-fi in the past or has sci-fi in their CV. This is what's wrong with the showrunners. If you look at RTD and you look at Stephen Moffat, they're not actually exclusively sci-fi writers, okay? They're not exclusively sci-fi writers. They're drama, crime, all of that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But sci-fi isn't their specialised subject. Whereas there are people out there that do mostly sci-fi that are specialised in writing sci-fi. And Doctor Who needs to go back to basics. It needs to go back to basics. It needs to do those things that brought fans in the first place. You know, the exciting storylines, the cliffhangers as well. I actually missed the cliffhangers now. We were always giving out back in the day. See, we don't realise what we've lost until, you know, it's gone. And we were at one stage giving out about cliffhangers. But Jesus Christ, man. You know, I miss a good fucking solid cliffhanger. You know, waiting until next week then to see what fucking had that excitement. Because none of the cliffhangers, if we had any cliffhangers in the modern era, Chibs and now RTD, they haven't been memorable. That's my point. Like, you know, it's just, right, President Lemon has gifted another one, but to someone that's actually in the channel the odd time. So Dark Donny was gifted a membership by President Lemon. But it's just, you know, it's not, look, in terms of fixing the show, I don't think it's hard to fix the show. To repair the fandom and to repair the damage that's being done, that's going to take years to fix, right? It is. That's the reality of the situation. But as I said, if the show was to get off to a flying start, and it went back to what we know Doctor Who to be, right? People, word of mouth with this show was a big thing and always has been. And if fans like us start praising the show, start saying, yeah, the writing's up to par, the acting's up to par, it's gone back to its roots, gone back to basics, right? I guarantee you people will start tuning in out of curiosity. And once they're hooked, and yous all remember, right? If I ask you all a question now, this question now, you'd be able to all answer it, right? And the question would be, what was the story that got you hooked on Doctor Who? Because there's always one that gets you hooked, and this is the point. If they do it right, fans come back out of curiosity. All it'll take is one episode to get them hooked. You know that, right? And then obviously then they have the people that run the show have to build up the mutual respect again, knowing that these showrunners care for your show, they care what you think as a fan. Once that starts being repaired, then you can get somewhere. Look, I do believe this show can still have a future if given to the right people. I don't want to turn me back on Doctor Who completely, and I don't want it to fail, right? Nobody wants it to fail. But I'm not going to sit back and stay silent and just say, yes, RTD, brilliant RTD. Or when fucking Chris Chibnall was here, yes, sir, that's great, sir. Oh, give me more of that, sir. No, I'm going to call it out if it's shit, right? Because that's what being a fan is about, difference of opinion. So if I think the show is shit, and other people that agree with me think it's shit, then nobody should be getting upset because people think it's shit, right? The bottom line is, don't be directing your anger at me or any of the other fans out there. Direct your anger at the people that are running this show. They're the ones that are failing. And they're failing to keep the fans. Right? We always get the blame. Fans always get the blame. It's always our fault when something fails, right? It's not our fault. Showrunners now need to take responsibility. These people need to take responsibility. They're at fault. All we want is the best version of this show, right? And for it to be, and listen, as Doctor Who fans, we are very protective of the show, right? But the thing about Doctor Who fans, we've already proven, we have no problem of new fans coming in and enjoying our show, right? The problem I do have is then when these new fans come in and say, well, I don't like the way you have done the show now. We want to change what makes everything Doctor Who, Doctor Who. I'm not going to tolerate that nonsense either. No fan is. No fan is. Right? There's expectation with Doctor Who fans. Right? And rightly fucking so. Because the standard in New Who has been pretty good. Right? Classic Who, it's been awesome. So fans are used to a good quality show. Right? And if you slip beyond those standards, if you slip below those standards, well, then people are going to speak up. Fans are going to speak up, and that's only natural. Now, just give me a second. I have to mute this here because I have to switch it to my YouTube channel for a second, but I don't want the feedback to come in. So just give me 1 second there. Right. Hopefully we're okay. I am on YouTube at the same time, so if there's a bit of crackling, just give me a second. This thing is taking ages to bleed and load up. But let's see if they still do this. Oh, I do. Right, so I'm about to gift 5 memberships now. And the 5 people are... Any second now. Right, so it's David Roberts, Kip Ellis, Raymond O'Reilly, William Frame, and Cyber Match Strikes are the 5 people that have been gifted memberships. This is random, folks. So here's another 5. So let's see. Hopefully, David has gotten one. This charming manatee has got one. Peter D has got one. Heather Sulu has got one, and President Lemon and Matt Pot. Oh no, President Lemon's already, sorry, it's came up with you, right? So I would say Matt Pot, that's gotten a membership there as well. And we had Matt on recently on my panel, and then I joined him for Dan's. Dan had me on his channel, by the way. It was a very good stream, and we've been talking behind the scenes, and I'll be hopefully back on again with Dan and the panel discussing all sorts. But it was great. It was fun. It's been a while since I streamed with Ballstrek and Dan. It was very good. Gary Akers was there as well. Just remember Gary Akers? He was there as well. It was nice to see him. And also we had Dan and Matt. It was a good panel. It was. We discussed many things and a couple of trailers and stuff. Oh, and Rabbi was on as well. I forgot about bleeding Rabbi. Rabbi was on as well. It was a deadly little stream. I have to say, I had a lot of we had a laugh. And of course, then we did get down to serious business with the old reviews of the trailers. So it was a nice little stream. It was. So I enjoyed that, I have to say. So yeah, as I said, and people have been telling me it's nice that I'm back and stuff like that, and I have to say I do really appreciate it. It's something. Look at in the height of this channel, I used to love coming on streaming all the time, as you know. I think you can actually see throughout the history of me YouTube and to now, you can see that the passion has slowly ebbed out since the Chris Chibnall era, and it hasn't been the same. It hasn't, and it's sad really, because as I said, this is a show that I grew up with. This is a show that influenced me, and to see it the way it is actually, it is heartbreaking. It deserves more than that. The people that played the Doctor, all of those guys that played the Doctor, their legacies deserve to be respected. And it's not being respected. Even RTD now is starting to meddle around with Classic Who. And I don't like that. Like, I look at this stage, I don't care what you do with this version of Doctor Who, but Classic Who, in my opinion, is unmatched, and it shouldn't be touched. The only thing that should be happening with Classic Who is trying to retrieve all of the missing episodes if you can, and producing them and giving them to the fans, or continue your animations, but leave out all your little revisions and leave out all of your fanfic nonsense, and just actually put the episodes and produce the stories the way they were supposed to be produced, right? It's as simple as that. The classic Doctor Who is not made for a modern audience, right? End the story. And the fact that there are people out there now that are running the show here think that they can actually now try and make Classic Who appeal to the modern audience. It's just another failure, and it's stupidity, right? Leave Classic Who alone. Right? You don't need to be going in there, Classic Who. And by the way, if there are plot holes and there's canon things that upset some fans, right, today, right, and you want them rectified, or a showrunner who claims to be a fan wants to rectify them, it's not your job to rectify them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Right? The bottom line is, with all of its flaws that Classic Who has, Doctor Who fans like me don't care, right? We don't care about those things, right? We might come up with our own theories, we might come up with our own little things in our head, but they stay there, right? Or we find another creative avenue of getting those out, like some fans have done through the years, right? But that's where it should go. That's where it should stop, right? It shouldn't be then bled into the main show, and then people start saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do all of this fanfic now, and we're gonna fix problems that were there, problems that Doctor Who fans don't even give a shit about." right? We just want you to continue the show. The New Who, continue it, right? Stop, leave classic alone. And this is another problem that I have with RTD and the people that are behind Doctor Who right now. They're meddling, and they seem to be meddling a lot more than Chris Chibnall's doing. And fans should be worried. So again, I will say it to you again, right? Go out and buy the physical copies of classic Doctor Who before it's too late, right? Because before, I'm telling you now, mark my words, right? The classic Who that we knew and grew up with will be completely changed because these morons don't realise that the people don't have the IQ today to understand classic Who, so they decide to chop it and change it and do whatever to it to make it appeal to those people. Listen, Doctor Who fans were more intelligent back in the day. It's the bottom line. The so-called Doctor Who fan today isn't a fan of actually Doctor Who. They're a fan of pronouns. They're a fan of who's shagging who, right? That's what they're fans of. That's what they want to see. Oh, look, they looked at that person like that. They must be in love. Shipping, right? That's what they're into, right? But real Doctor Who fans like me and people in this chat, we want stories. We want character development, right? We want all of those things that we're used to with Doctor Who before they start pandering to idiots. And that's who they are pandering to. They're pandering to idiots. Idiots that can't figure things out for themselves, so everything has to be explained on screen for them. Seriously, and then they dumb it down. And that's the biggest crime that's happened with Doctor Who in these last few years, is dumbing the show down. And I don't like it, right? I don't care if you want little babies and all of this shit to watch Doctor Who, right? It's a family TV show, right? If you can't get the balance right, you shouldn't be showrunner. Simple as that, right? Get out. That's my attitude, right? And it's my opinion. As you can see, I'm making it very clear. It's my opinion. Because some people don't get it. If you know what I mean. Oh, by the way, I did an RTD diss track. That's on the channel there. RTD diss track this time. It's just at the commenting on it there. So I did a diss track. A bit of fun as well, right? Some people will take it serious, but you know what? I don't give a shit. But there's a diss track up there if you just want to have it and check it out. I think it's actually rather good, you know. And I wrote most of the lyrics. Of course, AI filled in where I didn't write in lyrics, but most of the lyrics are written by myself. And I also did another few diss tracks which I've just shared privately for a bit of a laugh for now. But they might see the light of day. You never know. You never know. But yeah, I just look. I'm making me feelings quite queer. Quite clear here. Jesus Christ, man. I'm making my position quite clear here, right? The bottom line is I do not support RTD. I do not support what he's doing with Doctor Who. I don't like the direction that the show is going in. And from here on in, he's going to be continued to be called out until the right decision is made to save this show. And if BBC and the other powers that be, right, were listening, right, then you've got to make the right decision. If you don't, then it's game over. Fraudulent slip, says President Lemon. No, it's just I see that word fucking everywhere now. It's everywhere, right? That word used to be offensive years ago, right? Used to be offensive, but it's everywhere. Everything is queer to all of these lefty lunatics, right? It's just a fucking word now. I would never have used that word in my lifetime. at all. But you know, you see it everywhere now. They're trying to normalize it, and I suppose people are just like, say, fuck it. Well, if these people want to say that these words exist again, then fuck it, right? It's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. Sure, I call this show Doctor Queer anyway. That's what it is. It's for their ilk. That's what he's made it clear. That's the demographic that he's aiming this show at, right? You just have to look at characters like Jinx Monsoon and the new roles, right? And all of the other characters. It's only aimed at a certain demographic. And this is another problem that we have, right? He's just aiming at a certain demographic, has dumbed the show down, and then he's forgetting that the intelligent Doctor Who fans are here saying, what the fuck are we watching? People have to get real, right? People have to get real, and all you guys that are supporting this version of Doctor Who, you need to cop on very fast, right? You need to cop on very fast, because if you don't, right, it will eventually get to the situation that we have with Chris Chibnall. And as I said, as of now, we do not have official confirmation from the BBC press office or Disney or RTD on the future of Doctor Who. And you know, someone actually writing in RTD's comments a cryptic message, and then RTD liking it is not proof that the show is coming back, by the way. That's just desperation. Until there's an official announcement, right, the future of Doctor Who right now is in the air, right? And you know, if BBC had the cojones, I would say come out with a statement and say that the show is going on hiatus for a year or two, and he will be coming back fresh. Right? That's what I would do if I was the BBC, and that's an opinion. Because you know, someone out there doesn't get that it's an opinion, so I'm going to keep shouting that. Right? That's an opinion. That's what I think should happen. Not saying that's what's going to happen. It's what should happen. Sorry for shouting, guys. It's just that we have some people in this fandom that are utterly stupid and don't know the difference between fact, opinion, rumor, speculation, So I just want to make it clear. Like, I come back, there's always drama. RTD likes everyone's comments anyway. Yeah. I know. See, I know that. You know that. Most people know that. The one person that doesn't know that is the person that's, yourselves. Not getting into it. But we'll just leave it there on that one. The bottom line is, until there's an official announcement, folks, right? That's the story. The show is in limbo, or whatever you want to call it, until they make that official statement. Right? Don't even go there at this time. I mean, Jesus, you all know by now, man. I don't even have to even mention names anymore. You all know, man. Right? I just, that's just the nature of what we do here, unfortunately. I come back after a while. I do a stream with a bunch of friends. We give our opinion. We speculate a little bit as well, by the way. We talked about Shooty's behaviour, which as fans, we have every right to talk about. We hold their doctors to a different standard to some people in this fandom, it looks like. If you're okay with the doctor going around half naked, on Instagram and whatever, then that's you. But that's not every single fan out there. the bottom line is he's part of a family show, and we still see it as a family show, even though he has moved it to a certain demographic. But that doesn't mean that he should be behaving like that. The doctor is supposed to be held, or the actor is supposed to set an example. And at the end of the day, whether people like it or not, people say, well, why are you giving out about that for? He has his own private Instagram account. Well, you see, it is private to a certain extent, but then when you're the lead of a show like Doctor Who that's supposed to be global, you have a lot of young fans, right? So young fans will want to know everything about this actor, right? So they're going to follow him on his Instagram, right? And for anybody out there that's naive to think that kids are not on social media, they shouldn't be on social media, by the way, but they are, right? And they check out all of these things, TikTok, Instagram, and all of this. And I just think, while Shooty is the lead of this show, he should hold himself to a higher standard, right? Simple as that. But that upset some people out there, and he went on a big rant, right? Then we were speculating then about the future of the show, the future of RTD, and the future of Shooty, and that upset people out there as well. We were speculating, and we're entitled to do that. And we're not going to be bullied into submission either. We will continue to give our opinion on this channel. And everybody that I bring on this channel is free to express their opinions on this channel. Okay? And that's why they come onto this channel, because they know when they come onto this channel, they're free to express their opinions. Right? So the bottom line is this: as it stands, right, no matter what anybody else says out there, right, as it stands, no official announcement has been made. Therefore, as it stands, the show is in limbo. Okay? So until that changes, right now, we've got Series 2 to look forward to, and the spin-off. Right? And then we'll see if we'll get another season. Right? But no official announcement has been made. No desperate attempts to make it look like that the show has come back is going to change fans' opinion. The bottom line is that with this show and the history of this show, we've always waited, even though we've gotten speculation, rumor, or we've got source information, we've always said, wait for the official announcement to be made. And until that official announcement is made by the BBC press office or Disney Plus's press office or RTD himself, and I mean explicitly comes out and says, yes, the show has been renewed for a third season and we're filming at such and such a time, then that is the only acceptable outcome to say, yes, Doctor Who's back. And anything else that you hear now, right, is white noise, is speculation from other people, and that's it. Right? That's all it is. Right? They don't have concrete facts or concrete proof. Okay? It doesn't matter what's being said in interviews. It doesn't matter what RTD has written or wrote or whatever. Right? He lies. He doesn't lie. We all know that. Right? But the bottom line is, when he has been interviewed, he has made it explicitly clear yet that no decision has been made. Right? Look, as I said, nothing would make me more happy is that they did renew the show, but they announced that RTD was stepping down and all his crew was stepping down. Right? That's what I would like to happen. And that's an opinion, but that's what I would like to happen. Right? Then Doctor Who has some hope moving forward. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Right? But 2025 was always when you were going to get that official announcement on whether Doctor Who's future was secure or not, and what the story was. Okay? And, the showrunner himself even said that several occasions over interviews last year, right? We've all spoke about it, and, someone has been going opposite to all of that, right? But the bottom line is that the people that are in charge are telling you these things. You know, we all know RTD and Stephen Moffat lie sometimes, right? But the TV industry is volatile, right? You could say people are talking about strategies and plans moving forward and all of this, and Doctor Who's part of the strategy and all of this, the plan. So therefore, Doctor Who isn't gone and all of this. What people don't realize is Disney also had a strategy with the whole Star Wars franchise, and it didn't go well. And we got the Mandalorian because fans had backlashed against what they had seen, so they wanted to give the fans something, and we got the Mandalorian. But of course, that ended up going the way of all Disney Plus shows. But they had a whole plan with Star Wars, and that's been scrapped time and time again. We hear the sequels, then there was prequels, and more sequels, and all this, and it never came to fruition. None of it came to fruition. So for people saying out there, because Doctor Who's been mentioned part of a strategy, that can change, and the TV industry can change on a whim. Contracts can be signed, money can pass hands, but if the show isn't successful, right, why would you still pump money into a dead horse? Right? It doesn't make any sense. So you sever ties, you put it out of his misery. And again, that's just an opinion. But again, we have seen in the past with Disney and other big major franchises out there that they've had a whole strategy, whole phases and all, and they've all been scrapped. So anybody using that to justify, well, all of these people are lying when they're saying Doctor Who hasn't been renewed. Right now, the show has not been renewed. And if you look at all of the evidence, right, that's there in front of your eyes, right, it hasn't been renewed. So we have to wait and see. And I do know there are a lot of fans out there that hope it doesn't get renewed. But as I said, if they were to go back to basics, if they were to do the right thing, get rid of RTD and all his team, and I mean everybody associated with it, get them all out like Christopher Eccleston said, then I would be trying to get Christopher Eccleston back. And you know what you could do for the fourth story? You could bring McGann back, you could bring Eccleston back, right? And you could bring maybe Peter Capaldi back and do a 3-Doctor story to reintroduce the show again. This is a new era, a new dawn, a new fucking day. Right? And bring back doctors that people wanted. They say, I'd love to see McGann back. I would love to see Christopher Eccleston. And I'd love to see, do you know what? Those three, that dynamic of those three would be absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. You could do a one-off special with those three lads. Say, look, we're going to give you a little taster of what we're capable of doing, right? And just give us a once-off with the 3 doctors, and then introduce your new doctor, introduce your new companion, and then we move forward with the future with a bit of optimism. That's what needs to happen. Will it happen? Highly unlikely, but we can all dream, can't we? Carlsberg don't do dreams, but if they did, they'd be the best dreams in the world. Just remember that Carlsberg ad. Carlsberg don't do dreams, but if they did, they'd be the best dreams in the world. All we want is a successful show. All we want is to get behind the show that we love, that we've all grown up with. And, to tune in on a Saturday night, being gripped, being on the edge of our seats, right? And again, as I said, missing those cliffhangers I've got to be honest. I would just love a decent fucking cliffhanger where my jaw drops to the fucking ground. I can't wait. And that's what this show was very good at doing when we did have a cliffhanger. I always remember when there was a cliffhanger, everybody was talking on Facebook, couldn't wait for next week, right? They couldn't wait for next week. That's how you do it. Like, you want people to come back for more. And the show has always done cliffhangers, and I know for a few years there, even myself, I was saying I was sick and tired of cliffhangers and all of this, but I missed them. I've got to be honest, I missed them. So I wouldn't mind seeing a massive cliffhanger, a companion hanging off a cliff or something, the doctor's trying to save her, and it just ends there. and then you're wondering whether the companion is gonna die or not. That's the type of shit we want. Do you know what I mean? The Doctor's life and all on the line. There's no danger with this new show either. Like this new version of Doctor Who, the Doctor is never really in any proper fucking danger. Same with Jodie Whittaker. You look at her Doctor, that was Chibnall that brought that kind of trend in, right? Jodie's Doctor let everybody else do all the hard work. She comes swanning in the last minute and saves the day. There seems to be this trope. I just, needs to stop. It needs to go back to what made Doctor Who, Doctor Who. And until they do, this show is going to continue its downward spiral. And then eventually, right, because we don't know the future of the show yet. So let's just say they do renew it, right? This show is not going past more than 5 or 6 seasons. Can't. Realistically, it wouldn't. If the standard of writing continued to be as bad, right? The writing has to massively improve now. And it's not going to improve under RTD. He doesn't have it anymore, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But he doesn't have it anymore when it comes to Doctor Who. Even Stephen Moffat, right? Everybody was excited for him. But let's be honest, right? Boom and the Christmas. I haven't watched the Christmas special yet, but by looking at people that are actually fans of Moffat, but were actually excited for Moffat episode, they were even disappointed. Right? So even Moffat to me is still looking tired when it comes to Doctor Who. I don't think these two lads have any fresh ideas at all. Right? And what they were doing is they're recycling old themes and old things that they did, but they're putting the twist on it, the agenda, the demographic that they're aiming it towards. So they inserted a lot more of that into their ideas. So they have no new ideas. They're just really basically rehashing all the ideas and inserting an LGBTQ plus agenda into it, or whatever other agenda that they feel is the flavour of the week, whether it be climate change or, we're going to get a lot of racism stuff come up now, and RTD hates the Labour government, so you're going to get, and the Tories, well, he hates the Tories, sorry, so you're going to have him attacking the Tories and all this. Donald Trump is now president, so don't be surprised if you see all the anti-Trump shit go into Doctor Who, and that's not what Doctor Who is for. Right? I don't want to be sitting there listening to anti-Trump shit or climate change. Right? I want space battles. I want the Doctor fucking, on the edge of whether he's gonna live or die, or his companion's gonna live or die. I want that excitement. Right? Oh, they're the type of things that I want. Yeah, BBC Two, Saturday night, 7 p.m., 45-minute two-parter. The best New Who stories are the two-parters. I will agree with you on that one, Raymond. And just ignore the troll in the chat there. Apparently, I called people the T word. I didn't actually use that word, so I don't know where you're getting that from. But just ignore the troll, guys. So yeah. What else have we got? Lindsay says exactly, no, it's what we all want. Absolutely. New Doctor, no old monster, similar to Hinchcliffe and Holmes seasons 13 and 14. Actually, most of Tom's last 6 seasons is mainly new villains and monsters. Exactly. Even though, the likes of the Daleks, Cybermen, and all of these are iconic, let's be honest, I'm sick of Daleks now. You know what I mean? I'm sick of fucking Cybermen. And we're even getting the Sea Devils again. You know what I mean? And while I do like them, but they're kind of, they're kind of overdoing it now. The Sea Devils spin-off will be really interesting to see if it can be successful. But if it starts getting bigger ratings than Doctor Who, then Doctor Who's in serious trouble. And I said that at the time when RTD was announced. I said it doesn't matter how many spin-offs are to come. If Doctor Who was not on a solid foundation, Doctor Who could find itself in an embarrassing position where the spin-offs end up being more successful than the main show. And nobody wants that. I'm not saying I don't want the spin-offs to be successful. Of course we do. But the main show, we want to be successful as well, right? The main show has to be the pinnacle of this universe. It has to be the best thing written in it, is the main show, right? Because if the main show is not doing well, how do you expect people then to get excited and encouraged about the spin-offs relating to the universe of the main show that you're destroying? And what did I say as well? I said if they brought Doctor Who back, right, and they did a couple of seasons, they brought a spin out. Out. I said that would be too soon. They shouldn't really try follow the Disney model in that respect. Doctor Who had to settle on its foundations, and in my opinion, it hasn't. And I don't think season 2 is going to be an improvement either. And that's just an opinion. I don't think season 2 is going to be any different to what we got in season 1. So I think the quality is going to be absolutely rubbish again. So how do you expect the spin-off to be successful if the main show, the universe that you're actually, trying to push on the fans is not doing well? And this is the problem. People are not looking at that. And people need to start looking at that because, these spin-offs, if they end up being more successful than Doctor Who, then shame on everybody. Why would you allow your show to go down that low and the standards to drop? And that's what you have done. You have allowed these standards to drop over the years. Okay. You have allowed these standards to drop. And some of us haven't. And a lot of you are saying, well, you just can't have the same standards as back then. Of course we can. Of course we can. Right? In fairness, this show should have been improving over the years, not going backwards. Right? This show should be getting better and better and better and better. And now with the Disney Plus money, you think it'd be absolutely spectacular. And I'm not just saying, what they can do camera-wise and the visuals and all of that. But with money, you could hire the best writers, all this, that, and the other, and they just haven't utilised the money properly, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens with it. But that's my opinion on RTD. It's my opinion on the future of Doctor Who, really. But it is an opinion. I'm not stating that any of this that I've spoke about is fact, except the only fact that we do know is right now Doctor Who is in limbo and no official decision has been made on the future of the show. None of the press officers have come out and said that the show has been renewed. RTD himself has not come out and said the show is renewed. So until we get that official announcement, Doctor Who right now is in limbo. But there is the other series to come, the second season of Ncuti Gatwa's era. I don't think it'll be as good. I don't think it'll be any better than what we've gotten so far. Company panelists actually expressed that opinion and got attacked for it. But I'll say it again. I don't think the quality will be any better going into the second season. And I just don't know how you think any spin-offs or anything like that can become successful if you're absolutely destroying the main show. So, the powers that be, in my opinion, do have really tough decisions to make. And my advice to BBC or whoever else has a say in the future of Doctor Who, whether it be Disney Plus or whatever, I don't know. But whoever has that final decision needs to make the correct decision. And the correct decision would be to pull the plug on Bad Wolf Studios and RTD and Co. and get them out. Right? And only then do you have a chance. And again, it'll all come down to the fact of who you get in then to replace RTD and his team. But you can't get it wrong again, because if you get it wrong again, then in my opinion, this show will never come back then. It'll be done. Once it's done, it'll never come back in my lifetime. Or if it does come back, I'll probably be an old man. Right? But it'll come off the air again, and we won't see it. So this is why I've never understood why fans have allowed the quality of the show to dip, the writing of the show to dip. If you want this show to stay on TV for a long time, or to stay on streaming platforms or whatever, then you should expect the best. You should expect the best showrunner or team of writers. You should expect the best stories, the best character development, and all of that. Right? But again, as I said, some in this fandom have allowed their standards to drop and are happy with what is being delivered to them. And they don't realise by lowering their standards, they have contributed to the downfall of Doctor Who. And this is why we get a lot of clapback by fans out there, because they know deep down themselves that they're responsible for this. Instead of speaking up, they don't want to upset the apple cart or upset a certain demographic out there because they don't want to be called names. Well, if you're afraid of names and you're afraid of people coming after you because of your opinion, well, then you're an absolute coward as far as I'm concerned, right? People, fans in this fandom should be speaking up. If you're not happy with this show, you speak up, right? If you've got a finger to point at someone for the failure of this show, you speak up. No fan out there should be silenced, right? Because the other fans can say whatever they want, can't they? And do whatever they want. Nobody tells them to say that, or nobody goes to them. It's these type of fans then that attack you for your opinion. Then you end up having to defend yourself, and then somehow you're the bully. So don't let anybody out there, right, tell you that you can't have an opinion, right? Or you can't speculate. Of course you can speculate. You can speculate all you want. And if you're disappointed with the showrunner, or you're disappointed with the lead actor because of his behaviour, you have every right to express that dismay. No fan out there has the right to police anybody out there about their thoughts and opinions and their speculation. People out there just telling blatant lies over the years, right? Different people in this fandom telling lies to fans over the years, right? And these are the same people then that go and attack channels like mine who express their opinions without any hesitation. And this is the thing. We've got to get past all of this so-called cancel culture and people being afraid to express their opinion. That era is gone now. Cancel culture is gone, right? It's gone. Okay. The people that are getting cancelled today deserve to be cancelled because of their behaviour, right? They're being exposed and they're being, but innocent people now, like it was back in the day at the height of all of this cancellation, were getting cancelled. But now it seems like most of the scumbags are getting cancelled that should be cancelled, right? But I've never really liked cancel culture anyway, right? But these fans in the fandom still think they could do that. They can cancel people for their opinions. Well, that's not going to happen on this channel, and it never will. And anybody ever threatens this channel or threatens me, well, you know, like always, I'm not going to stand by and allow that to happen. Okay, and I've stayed and I've managed to stay here long enough, right? For you not to do that, and I'll continue to express my opinions, and I will continue to encourage my panelists to express their opinions without fear, without having anybody policing them on what they say. We can say whatever the fuck we want on this channel, and if anybody out there has a problem with it, I honestly don't give a shit, right? But if you want to waste your time attacking me and attacking other people because they're on this channel, you're wasting your time. You're not going to ever turn these people against me, right? They fully back me, right? They fully back me. I've spoken to them all, okay? and nothing is going to stop their friendship from continuing, right? Because apparently everybody abandoned me, by the way. I got that thrown at me. Everybody abandoned me. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. I've no friends, all of this shit. Like, what? I mean, even then when that was said, I just broke my bollocks laughing. Yeah, I've no friends, no friends. I'm getting invited left, right, and centre now. You know, people showing their support to me, right? So, you know, as I said, uh, I talk to all my friends offline. Not everything is public, but to come out with that whopper as well, you know. And then when that didn't work, then you went on the attack and attacked people that were on this panel because you wanted to turn them against me. But you'll never turn them against me because they're loyal to me and I'm loyal to them, and that's all that matters. But you would know what loyalty is. Anyway, we will leave it there. If you haven't checked out me RTD disc track, please do. It was for a bit of fun as well, right? So, you know, if people want to take it serious, they can. If people don't want to take it serious and take it as a piss take, like the way I'm looking at it, then take it that way. But the bottom line is, if you're outraged about it, I honestly don't give a shit, right? I don't give a shit, okay? I will express my opinions about RTD, how I feel and how I like, okay? And this is me expressing myself and expressing my hatred for a showrunner that I believe is destroying this show. Okay, so go and check out the diss track, share it everywhere as well, please, guys. Get it out there, right? Just get it out there anyway, right? Do me that favor and share it everywhere. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. You know, because it's a bit, it's a bit of fun as well. It keeps me going as well, and to be able to express yourself as well as another thing. See, there's a lot of built up anger and resentment in this fandom, and it's got to do with the fact that a lot of fans are afraid to express themselves and still don't express themselves, and there's a lot of anger built up inside them. You need to start expressing yourselves. You need to let off a bit of steam, as they say, right? And if you do that, trust me, you will feel so much better. You will feel so much better, right? Don't hold in your anger. Don't hold in your dismay. Express it. You have every right to do so, right? That's your right as a fan, and nobody can ever take that away from you. Remember that. And I'm proud of all of you guys out there and in the chat that have expressed your opinion and that have come out and said something. Because, the more people that do, eventually there's going to be so much noise. Remember, during the Jodie Whittaker era, there was so much noise over that show that BBC press office or the people behind the show had to come out with several statements over the years, right? Okay. Chris Chibnall era, how many statements was there? I think there was 3 or 4, maybe less. I'm not sure. I forget, right? But there was a few. I know there was definitely a statement that was released after the doctor scene with Graham, when Graham was telling her that, the cancer scene, and that caused an awful lot of outrage. So I do remember that statement. But if I'm correct in saying, I think there was a couple of more after that. Could be wrong, but there was a statement anyway, right? And that just goes to show you then that they should have listened, right? Fans were telling them, but no, what did they do? They come out and said, oh no, yous are all overreacting, sort of thing. Attitude they had. We didn't mean to do, we read blah, blah, blah. And then all the whole fans then start defending it. You can't defend it. It was absolutely disgusting. And for anybody that's had any members that have cancer or have died from cancer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I've had family members and it's horrible. It's horrible, right? And it was insensitive what they did on Doctor Who, right? And only people that have lived through that trauma, right? Because remember, it's not just the person that has cancer, it affects the whole family, okay? And the fact that the Doctor Who was insensitive to that topic, right, will never be forgiven. It's unforgivable, right? So express yourselves, right? Doesn't matter in any form. Doesn't have to be verbal. Doesn't have to be written. Like I said, I made a little diss track there, right? Express yourselves. But if you have an issue with RTD and you have an issue with the direction of this show, I say sing it loud and make it clear, lads and ladies. Do not allow these people to control your thoughts and opinions and tell you what you should and shouldn't think. You are a fan. You've put a lot into this show, not just as a fan, whether it be merchandise, watching it for decades. You have given a lot of time to this show and you deserve to be respected, right? And until the people behind the scenes do the right thing and respect the fans, we're always going to be around calling out that bullshit. So for now, I will leave it there. I want to thank everybody. I will have another panel soon. So if anybody is interested on coming on a panel, if you follow me on X, send me a message on X. If you follow me on Facebook, you can send me a message on Facebook. If not, if you can't get me on any of those apps because you're not on them, then I suggest then when this stream and the comment section, if you would like to come on, just drop your name and say you would like to come on, so I know if there's anybody else that wants to come on. Then the day of the live stream, then if I can't get an email out to you, come into the live chat and I'll put the link in the chat, and then you can come and join me and we'll have another discussion. Also, I will be doing the Christmas special soon. So the proper panel back might be actually on the Christmas special. So I'm hoping to get that done before the week ends. And that means over the weekend. So Sunday. So the weekend Sunday. Well, I mean, so I'll do that. Why am I getting message requests? It's mad. Yeah, I come back and do a stream, right? And then I get all of these messages on my DMs, but you have to send a message request if I don't know them. So but I get all of these little weirdos when I come back and stream. I can't even open my mouth, man. I can't even open my mouth. Like, leave it out. Listen, guys, right? Yeah, the Chris Chibnall era was hard on us all, yeah? I know most of you little twerps out there didn't like my opinions and thought I was very harsh. But here's the reality of the situation. Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker are gone. You need to get over it now. And what I would say to you guys is quite clear. You haven't learned your lesson over the Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall era, and you are making the same mistakes again, defending RTD and defending everything he's doing. If you want Doctor Who to continue, and we know that you don't really give a shit about Doctor Who, but you make out that you do. So if you actually want Doctor Who to continue like the rest of us, then you need to be calling out RTD and his bullshit. Until then, you're never going to get a great series. It's as simple as that. Right? These people need to be called out. A BBC need to be called out quite a lot as well. And that organisation is rotten to the core, as we know. So, they've done more heinous stuff, but we really need to be getting on BBC's back over this show. It's not acceptable, the standard and the quality. So it needs to improve. And that has been my opinion on RTD, why I think he must go. I do believe that BBC need to go back to basics, and I've explained what they could do. Of course, this is all just my opinion. It's not me saying it's fact. Know the difference. It's just an opinion on what I think should happen. But as far as I'm concerned, RTD's era of Doctor Who, this era is a lost cause, and there's going to be more damage done to the show. So, when this was called a rescue mission, we can actually safely say that this rescue mission has turned into a nightmare. And Nicholas Horton has said, hi, Noel, Classic Who merchandise still sells. It does, and that just goes to show you, though, Nicholas, that if you do it right, you know, and you give the fans what they want, good stories, character development, then these shows can outlive and outlast. Like the Classic Who will still be around when we're 6 feet under, right? That's the impact that that classic show had on people. That will outlive us all, right? Can't really say the same about New Who right now, right? Maybe the first RTD era, the Stephen Moffat era, but even then, that's getting tainted now, isn't it? You know, fans are kind of like they can't even bring themselves to watch New Who at the moment. It used to affect Classic Who, but I think fans have kind of they do see them different, two different versions of Doctor Who, so or two different main eras, if you want to call it that. So you know, fans can distinguish between the two. You know, remember back in the day, there was a thing of trying to not have these be separate from each other. There's a desperate attempt, and there always has been a desperate attempt to join the two eras together. But I think you should just leave it be, to be quite honest with you, because nothing will ever surpass Classic Who, in my opinion. And again, I don't care if the modern audience don't agree with me on that. The fact of the matter is, the reason why you don't like that is because it doesn't appeal to you, because it's too intelligent for you. And it wasn't made for you. And the fact that they're trying to cut these down and chop different stories up to make them relate to you guys today is an absolute joke. And this is why these things will never be fully embraced by real Doctor Who fans. They won't be. You know, you'll get people that will buy them to be part of their collection, but that doesn't mean that they're actually fans of the new version, the new modern version, right? They just have it to have it in their collection. But the majority of fans will not be happy with what's happening with Classic Who. No Doctor Who fan in their right mind that loves this show, right, is agreeing with what's happening here right now. And that's just my opinion on it. Anyway, yeah, the lifeboat. Well, if it was a rescue mission, the Titanic has sunk, and so has the lifeboats, Daniel. So, you know, what can you say? What can you say? We just throw Nicholas up there. Just so, member for 28 months. Thank you, Nicholas. I really appreciate that. We will get a member stream done soon as well, where we could talk a little bit more off the cuff as well. You know, yourselves. You know, so there's not ardent prying eyes lurking. Anyway, we leave it there for now. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. There's 29 people watching at the moment, so do me a favor and smash that like button. As I said, if you want to join me on the panel, if you're a regular, you want to join me on the panel, there's nowhere to contact me. Let me know if you are interested. We'll be doing the Christmas special. I know some of you won't watch the episode again, so I'll do a watch along myself, but obviously it'll be still in these our memories. If not, then come and join me for the watch along. You can put it on the same time. We'll do the countdown, and you can chat in the chat while we're watching or whatever, because I do the watch alongs on my own now. But we will do a panel then and review the Christmas special, Joy to the World, or whatever the feck it's called. But apparently it didn't bring much joy. So we'll see if that's the case. So yeah, joy to the fucking world. The world's in chaos. There is no joy. Anyway, I'll leave it there. See you all very soon. Have a good evening. And yeah, we'll be back, as I said, very soon. So have a good one. And thanks for tuning in. Hit smash the like button. Go and check out the RTD disc track as well. And I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye. Oh, let me know what you think of the disc track as well. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like it. Okay? If you don't like it, you can tell me you don't like it. But let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on it. And if you'd like to see more, let me know. Let me know. I have made more, by the way. Not on RTD, but I have made more. But I'm debating right now. It's we'll see in time, probably. Anyway, have a good one. Bye bye.